Welcome, welcome, beautiful people. Good morning, good morning. Welcome to RFD Talk, where I am your host, Robin F. David, where you can call me RFD. I am elated to be in the place, the mighty 147 Nashville's Heritage Radio Station. We are here in the greater Nashville this morning, and I am super excited to be here with you guys. Thank you to all of the listeners and followers. You want to now like and share. And if you're on the radio station, definitely I would love for you to join me on my other platforms, which is Facebook and YouTube. You can follow me there at RFD Talk and Instagram. All right. So, how are you today, beautiful people? How is the day going? It's August the 1st. Yay! It is a new beginning. The eighth month is really a month of shift and change. I feel like, we're at the end of summer and things start to shift, right? So happy August the 1st. Welcome to this amazing chapter in your life. We're here approaching fall, and it's a lot of things that are going to be shifting and changing in our life. I was thinking about for August, I always think about the abundance of August, right? Abundance in August. It's just such a plentiful month. So many things are shifting and changing. You got back to school. You got the end of the year, end of the summer vacations with your family. And it can get sometimes a little bit hectic getting everything in order for fall, right? In preparation doing those things at back to school. I remember in those days when, as a mother of five amazing children, I remember how stressful that could be sometimes, getting those book bags filled up and getting the supplies in the school. So, sending love out to all the mothers and parents who are getting prepared for back to school. In some areas, it's not back to school yet, but I know here in the South, school should be starting within the next week or so. And then I know Midwest normally starts at the end of August, right after Labor Day, I think is coming up. So I think we have like that last holiday for the summer, which is a fun holiday because you can still find and figure out things to do for your family. So what are you going to be doing? What are your plans for the end of the summer? Call in, let us know. Definitely want to call in today because we're going to have an amazing guest. He's going to be walking in any moment now. So stay tuned for Timothy Thompson, who is going for councilman right here in the greater Nashville 1st District. So if you are in the Nashville area, please like and share and call people and tell them to listen to this amazing young man who is definitely making things happen here in the greater Nashville. And I am definitely a supporter of Tim Thompson. He is one of our favorite guests. So I can't wait till he gets in and share all the great things that's coming up. But I definitely want you to know that with all this stuff changing and stuff, make it your business. If you haven't registered to vote, if you haven't voted yet, make it your business to set yourself up for success in life. It's important who's in leadership, and it's important um, that you start to hear the needs of your community and really make yourself open to growing with the community. And we really need each other, you guys. I think community, when we went through 2020, I really realized I was in my apartment by myself for a whole year in 2020. So I was in solidarity. And so what I mean by that is I think that I really realized how important a community of your community of your peers and community of your family. It's so important because it helps our mental health. Mental wealth is where well, but also it helps our mental health to stay connected. So make sure you don't, let things happen in life. Sometimes when we just let things happen, we can get frustrated and we feel like, no one's heard me and no one's paying attention to my needs. And you don't want to be that person. So get registered to vote, get yourself out there and get ready to vote. A lot of times when you tune into the RFD Talk Show, show, I will be talking about one of the things here at the RFD Talk Show. We like to bring simple understanding to complicated situations by taking the hard work out of self love and self care. So mainly that's who I am. Again, to remind some of my new listeners and followers who I am. I am Robin F. David. I am a facilitator, inspirational speaker. I'm a certified healing holistic coach. I am also an Amazon bestseller with the in an anthology. Excuse me. I have contributed to a bestseller in Amazon. I am a self-published author, and here's my self-published book, which it is Healing from the Inside Out, a 30-day journal and journey to wholeness. And it was a workbook that I created, which I may rewrite it again and do a revise, but I dedicate this to my youngest son, who unfortunately was snatched or taken from me from gun violence in 2015. So I find that writing is a really good tool to part of my healing process. So, and I'm very grateful that I had the opportunity to be in the anthology as well. My anthology is, if you want to look up the anthology, it is Healthy, Abundant, and Wise, where I'm going to have to get some of the other authors on too, because, and this was a really amazing collaboration, and really great stories are in this book. So I'm going to invite some of the authors from this uh, experience with me and see where they are. I need to tap in with them because I got to work with women worldwide, and it was such an amazing collaboration. But the story was a very good story. I wrote a 1,800 word story in there, chapter 4, and it's called Rise to the Occasion. And I was published through Power for You. Hey, Tim. Yay. Tim made it through. Thank you, Tim. He is a reliable, yes, he's a reliable candidate.
Good people.
Yes, good people. He is in the place. So we'll be getting ready to start with him and get into what's really going on in Nashville, because that's really what we want to talk about. But like I said, it is the August. You want to start something new in August, getting prepared for all the great things that happen in fall. You have a lot of fall fests coming up. You want to make plans to get that last vacation in with yourself or your family. And you definitely want to find out ways to create stress-free for preparing for school. So there's a lot of organizations that are helping families around the community. So remember that there are resources, people. There is always a solution to the problem. I had to remind myself that this morning. Sometimes you just got to remind yourself when things are shifting and changing, there are solutions to problems. And you probably yourself have a lot of solutions when the problems come up. I find that in life, we are faced with several things that we don't always feel comfortable with. But then if you look and be still for a moment with yourself, just a little moment with yourself, and you know what we do here on the RFD Talk Show, we take those deep breaths to really get connected with your mind, your body, and how you're feeling. And that way you can get an answer. You know, sometimes it just requires you to be still. But before I got to really say thank you again, I want to quickly get in because our guest is here, so I don't want to keep you all any longer. But I definitely want to not forget to say thank you to my continued sponsors. Thank you to Shave Me Down Handmade Body Butter. And you can order yours today on Facebook at Shave Me Down, or email Shave Me Down at 06@gmail.com. We thank you for them being a sponsor. And we also thank my Majestic Elegance Candle and Company, which is a 100% soy candle. And it's also toxin free, which is really a great way to start your day or end your day. And remember, you can always get your Sacred Balance candle from RFD from the website, which is Majestic, but it's Live Majestic, excuse me, livemajestic.com. And you can purchase your order there. So we thank you for that. And remember right now to like and share. And also I want to say thank you to all the sponsors who we are ran by the support of our guests and the seeds and support of our givers and those who want to donate to the RFD Talk. You can donate to RFD Talk at rfdtalk@gmail.com. But I want to thank all of you all who allow us to be here every Tuesday morning. All your financial support, all your prayers, and all of your viewers' comments and listening each week means a lot to us. I just want to tell you that. So thank you and keep following us. We have a lot of good things that'll be happening right here at the Mighty 147 with your girl RFD. So we're going to take a commercial. Did you want to take a commercial? Okay, we're going to take a quick commercial. We'll be right back.
How you doing, sweetheart? You doing all right?
Yes. How are you?
No, you.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You bring it out in me, right?
I do it. Is that what I do for you?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. You help me stay youthful. Thank you for being here. Thank you. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Oh, good. I'm gonna put us on Instagram too, so we can be on all the platforms and talk about what's going on. Welcome back, beautiful people, to the RFD Talk live here in Nashville at the Mighty 147 Nashville Heritage Radio Station. We are delighted that our guest is in the building, Timothy Thompson, who is the best selection for District 1 Councilman. Woo, woo, woo. We're excited. Before we go in,
option.
Yeah, the best option. That's right. So you got to definitely get prepared for this message. Before we go in, we're going to take our quick 3 deep breaths.
Absolutely.
Because we want to make sure we get a lot of information from a lot of great people. And I think we got all this information as people. Sometimes we just got to stop, breathe, and center ourselves so we can hear what we can do differently for ourselves and for our community, right?
Absolutely.
So let's take a quick deep breath. You want to breathe in and breathe out. And what you're going to breathe in is abundance in the new month. You're going to breathe in that you're going to restore all the good stuff back in your life, and you're going to let go of all the things that don't matter, right? So let's take those quick breaths. So join me with inhale and then exhale. And join me again with inhaling and exhale. And one more deep breath. Inhale and exhale. All right, beautiful people.
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We are here. Timothy, we are ready to get into what we're here for today. Yeah. Tell us, Timothy, who you are and what we can get from you today.
So I'm Tim Thompson, of course, Nashville native, and I'm currently running for councilman in District 1 this year. So please, if you can, vote for me on August the 3rd, which is election day. But if you can't, please show up and vote for your local general election for mayor, vice mayor, council at large, and your local council person. It's very important we do that. It's an active part of our community and being involved in our community and showing that we are concerned about what goes on around us each and every day. And I got some pretty good information that I want to talk about today that has happened over past couple of weeks. We've kind of been dealing with in District 1. That's really, really good. Kind of falls back on what we talked about the last time I was here. Last time I was here, we talked about zoning and stepping up to the plate, getting involved in the community. And, we talked about your community garden.
Yes, yes.
You got some good cucumbers in your
I
community
do.
garden?
I love my
Awesome,
community garden.
awesome.
Yes, I do.
Awesome. Great. So, yeah. So today, I really kind of want to do a little testimonial or a praise report. So recently in District 1, we've been dealing with a situation where there has been a big box, well, not big box, but there's a warehousing company that wanted to move to the area. And much like I told you, it's important that we get active and involved in our community because you're going to have people inside, outside that wants to come into your neighborhood and they want to do what they want to do based on how they feel they could be successful in your neighborhood with no regard to your everyday life. So it's important that you really step up. So we had a warehousing company that was bought a piece of property and they were on Ashland City Highway and they were willing to build their warehousing, and because they wouldn't get special permission from TDOT to do the accessibility to and from the Bradley Parkway area, they were going to drive their trucks up and down Cato Road. There was a Cato Road, yeah, which is a residential area. That's just homes. It's not commercial, and it's not set. And they were going to drive 100 trucks up and down that road in that community. Was their plan, and they thought it would be okay with those residents. But you know what? The residents of District 1 said no, and they took action. And you know what they did? They showed up to the meetings. They expressed their concerns. They stood up. They sent emails. They made phone calls. And guess what? They had it removed from the table. It'll be taken off the council tonight. They'll be removing that bill from, and it have to be revisited later. But that's the success of actually stepping up and being involved in your community. That you can make change in your community if you get involved. So kudos to District 1 and those residents.
Yes, that's awesome.
Kudos to District 1 and the residents for making a big difference in their community in that regard. But the fight doesn't start because they're still going to try to do what they want to do, And so we as people in our community, we have to mend together to fight off these big, large companies that want to come in and inundate in our communities and do what they want to do. I was looking this morning as I was doing my morning research, and I was viewing that in Ohio, there's a situation where you have a lot of these companies that are coming into areas and buying up all the properties, and rather than selling them, they're renting them because they want to have control of those communities and those leases. And so they're going in the communities and they're buying like 2,000 homes in a city.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That is a lot.
So residents, if you own your home and you're in your home, please do not sell your home if you can afford to stay in your home. Keep your home, because if you sell your home, what you're selling it for that value, you're not going to be able to get back into another home inside our community. You're going to be outside of Nashville. If they give you $200,000 for a home, homes in Nashville are not going for $200,000 anymore. They're going for 400, 500, 600, 700, all the way up to $1 million plus, in our community. So the small money that they're going to offer you, it's not going to be enough. You're just moving yourself out of the community. Now, if you don't have any other type of resource to help you stay in the community, then maybe that's another discussion, another show that we can talk about to maybe get some help and get some assistance so you can preserve your property and keep it up to pace and everything like that, so you can stay in your home, so you can stay in the community, because that's what's so important to today that we need to know, is that there are companies out here who are looking for motivated sellers. Now, motivated sellers to them are not people who are looking to make a profit. Motivated sellers to them are people who fallen on hardship in their life. They've lost a family member, or they lost a spouse, they can't pay their taxes, They can't. They don't have any kids. Don't have any survivorship or anything like that. They come in looking for people like that to take advantage of them and to take their properties and to do what they want to with them. So it's very important that we pay close attention that we don't become that motivated seller because life has, happened to us, and we got to love on each other. So it's so important that we get involved and look out to our neighbors and see, what's really going on with them and see their needs and concerns, because that house that's on your property that may be looking bad, or that person lost a spouse or whatever, we might want to give them some assistance because that affects us. Because a company will come in and they'll buy the home and they'll lease that home with someone else, and they'll have in and out traffic out of that home, with no commitment, no standard for the life or living in your community and things like that. So again, get involved, pay attention, look out for your neighbors, talk to them, let them know, hey, we're here, we're together. The past couple of shows we talked about, neighborhood association and things like that. Those are very important too, because it's not just there's a social aspect to it. To get to know your neighbors, and you could be social. Some neighborhood associations, they have potlucks. Some associations have like a flamingo night where you put 2 flamingos in your front yard, and they know that, hey, you can come to this house on this night and you can have beer or just have a drink or wine night or whatever like that, just to be social. But also neighborhood associations, you come together so you could protect your neighborhood. You want to know the struggles that other people are having in your neighborhood so that you don't face those same struggles. You know what I mean? We don't want to be that motivated seller. You don't want to be that person, because when you become that person, then you sell your home for what they're offering you, and then you have nowhere to go. You went from ownership to now you're going to become a rental. Now if it's your plan, that's one thing, because some people have a plan that may work for them, in terms of where they are in their lifestyle. But if you don't have nowhere else to go, if your mortgage is what it is, and if you're paying the mortgage right now that's $1,500 or $2,000 or less, trust me, you want to keep that mortgage, because there's no place that you can go in an apartment in the inner city of Nashville that you're going to be paying less than $1,500 a month.
That's
period.
True. That is so
That's
true.
Period. So it's very important, people, that stay and connected with your people, stay connected with your family, your grandmother, aunt, uncle, cousin, things like that. They're all important to us, because they need our help. They need our attention, because, as our community ages, people have hard of hearing, hard of seeing, you know what I mean? That anxiety kicks in, and they're in their home by themselves. I've had a couple of customers that come in the barbershop, they lost their spouse, so, and they, thanks to God that they have children, they have 2 daughters that really care enough, to go in and check up on them. My suggestion, go and check up on a family member today. You never know who may be in bad shape. Just because you haven't heard their voice or seen their face, they need to hear you. They need to see you. And sometimes people's pride, and some people get so inundated with life, they don't know how bad off they really are. They just need somebody to care for them. And that's one of the things that I care about our community, is that I care about people, and I want to see people not just be successful, but people need to be cared for. And as our elderly people in our community, you have people that are mentally health challenged and things like that can't stay by themselves. They might not have started that way, but it evolves. Life happens in people's lives, and so they need help. They need social, social interaction with other people, so they don't lose sight, what's going on.
Yes, I do know. I think it's so very important to reach out to our elderly and to this community, because there's where the roots start, where you're saying like elderly people have their homes in this community, been here all their lives. And I always, as I ride around Nashville, I always say that definitely want to keep our elderly here, not getting them moved and displaced at their later part of their life on the outskirts of Nashville where they were born, it don't add up for me. So I was like, we really do have to step up, reach out, and care for one another. I think it's so important that we are more aware about how can I care for another, how can I care for my neighbor besides just saying I'm praying for my neighbor. Prayers are good, but that knocking on their door and getting into them.
Hey, not somebody could have fallen, hurt. I've had a customer years ago. His name, I won't say his name, but God rest, did he rest in peace? But he was in an apartment by himself. He was a young man. We were the same age and everything, and he was in this apartment by himself, and he had fallen and hit his head on this thing, and well, the result was that he had a stroke. You know, his blood pressure was so high. He was working so many hours, working doubles and triples and things like that, and wasn't monitoring his personal health. Well, he fell. He hit his head in his room, in his bedroom, in his home. He laid in his bed. in his bedroom for 3 days before somebody was able to go and check on him.
Wow.
It's completely comatose. You know what I mean? And it was a coworker that noticed that he hadn't showed up from work. Was the only reason why somebody had checked on him. You know. And unfortunately, he lost his life behind that. You know, such a beautiful life that was impacting other people. Now, don't get me wrong, God has the final say on who lives and who dies or whatever. But if somebody could have checked on him day one, you know what I mean? Somebody could have checked on him day two. You know what I mean? 3 days. You know, and we live in. We're by ourselves in our homes. I live by myself. But if I was to fall and hurt myself, you got to stay in connection with people. I know we don't want to be bothered with people. It's not about having people in your business. It's just about being social enough to where people can keep up with you. You know, they don't have to know your every move, but you got to let people know that what's going on with you. You know that you are at home by yourself. And just call and say something. That's a personal mantra for everybody. They call and check on somebody who needs to be checked on. If you hadn't called, family member, a friend, somebody like that, call and check on them today.
I agree. Today. I agree with that. Today is the best day of your life, right? And you only get today as a gift. Is how I live.
Yeah, on the first day of August, call and check on somebody today, and just say, "Hey, don't want anything. I'm just thinking about you. I just want to make sure that you're okay.
I love it.
That you're okay. And if it's anything that I can do, and if I can't do it, then maybe I can partner up with somebody else or another organization that can give you the help that you need. And please be accepted. Please be accepted, because people don't have to do it. People can be non-attentive to other people, and we know what that's like. To not to be loved, not to be cared for, not to have people around. It comes lonely.
It does.
And loneliness is it's God says it's not good for man to be alone, and He said that for a reason. Those are His words, not my words. He said it's not good.
I agree
for man to be alone.
I agree with that. I was thinking about that too. Similar to what God said that. That scripture there, because I believe that we're relational people. Like, in 2020, I was by myself in my own apartment, but because everything shut down, so I was just. But in that experience, I realized, and I was just saying that yesterday to a person where I was working with a customer and a client, and I was telling her, I said, I feel like, because everybody's jobs have changed a little bit, and some people are staying at home by themselves a lot, and they're finding out they don't really want to be by themselves a lot. That's what she was saying. She was like, I kind of miss being the interaction with people at work, and I myself understood that, because I was like, 2020 made me realize that touching someone or hugging someone or just having that person there, it lights the fire in you. It ignites the fire in you to keep going. So I think that God created us to be relationship people is what I'm getting to. In other words, I feel like we are designed to be relationship. And that's important.
We should have some type of, friendship or relationship with people, with family members. And, everybody's not your friend, of course, but listen, God will send you an angel to care for you. He will send an angel to look out for you. God will send an angel.
I agree.
And guess what? And He can use anybody.
Yes, it can.
God can use anybody. He
Yes,
can use
can.
anybody.
He does.
And so what we need to do is we need just to be receptive of that, of what help looks like, and what that is, because that's what we need right now.
We do.
Because right now in Nashville, right now, as much growth and boom as we see that's going on, there's a group of people on the inside that's here to suffer. It's good for everybody else, but other people they're not experiencing the the rooftops.
Mm-hmm.
They're not
Mm-hmm.
experiencing
Mm-hmm.
$1 million home that's being built 2 blocks away to increase their home value. But some are experiencing that, but it's not a good experience that you got $1 million home across the street for you. Now your taxes are almost equivalent to that home across the street from you, and you've got a third of the size. Is
Mm-hmm.
how's that fair?
Mm.
And it forces you to leave and move out. You know what I mean? So, but who knows who those people are unless we reach out to them, and find out who they are, who needs the help. One of my plans in District 1 is to establish a task force to go in these communities, in these neighborhoods, and see who needs the help, what
Mm.
needs to be done in these communities, and so we can properly address their right now needs. Because some people have some right now needs, and addressing those right now needs to be addressed with resources, with some answers, and some help. You may not be able to get everything done that you wanted, but you can get something done. You can get a start.
Yeah.
And and connecting people, because there's some nonprofit agencies that can do some things that the government can't do. Special grants out here to help and assist other people, but it's important that we get out here and we find those people that need help. We can't wait for people to come to us. We gotta go find them.
I love that. I love that. It was interesting you said that because my pastor was saying that on Sunday. He was like, he's blessed, he's grateful and thankful. But, we thank God for all the things we are aware of, right? But then we have to say, how can I be a blessing and go out and bless someone else? Like
Mm-hmm.
every day, that should be your prayer. How do I help someone else today?
Mm-hmm.
Send me somebody to help. That's what my pastor said
That's
on
right.
Sunday. He's like, so we blessed, we financially blessed, we're doing well, we're aware, we're grateful. But then you say, thank you for all those things, Lord. And then we like, who do I bless today? Send me somebody to bless is what he said. I apologize because I love that Dr. Ben said that because I was like, I should every day ask, send me somebody that I can bless today,
Mm-hmm.
being aware of how you're showing up and helping someone else because there is always a way of helping someone else.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got DoorDash and all these other services and like that. But I mean, sometimes we might have to be DoorDash for grandmother or auntie or uncle, or anything.
That's
Prepare a
good.
meal and send it to them. And sometimes preparing the meal, you don't have to necessarily stay, but it's just a way of giving a gift to somebody. Give somebody flowers, on
Mm-hmm.
a daily basis. If it's a compliment. Your beautiful eyes. I like your hair. You look freshly done
Oh,
today.
thank
Your
you,
beautiful
thank you,
smile.
thank you very much.
Those things.
Mm-hmm.
But look at how that impacts a person.
It does.
We're all beautiful people,
Yes, we
one
are.
way or the other, and we're God's people,
Yes, we
and
are.
we deserve to be loved,
I
and we
love it.
deserve to be cared for, and so that's important. That's really important. So, but that also presets an opportunity for people to come together, and then we can start trusting one another because now um, you care for me, and now I
Mm-hmm.
can care for you.
Mm-hmm.
And do it unselfishly. Just do it willingly, with no expectation, with no expectation of anything in return, and knowing that God, who sees you and what you've done in secret, He will openly reward you,
Mm-hmm.
in front of others, and we have to hold on to that because some of us have lived some really bad lives. I mean, let's just be honest.
That's true.
Some of us have and been able to live and survive. So how do we counteract all of the terrible stuff that we've done? We may not be able to fix everything for tit for tat, but guess what? If you would just take one moment to go out and do something and help somebody, it starts to snowball.
Mm-hmm.
Snowballs, um, avalanches don't start just from a big boom. Avalanches start from just one small sound, one
Mm.
small movement, one small shake. You know,
Wow.
can change a whole mountainside, change the whole entire, you know, trajectory of the situation going. I just gave you an example of that with what they went through in District 1.
Mm-hmm.
Because a few people cared and sent the email, gathered together and shared the information with other people. And they was able to build a concern. And then collectively, everybody coming together say, hey, this is not what we want. You know, those are vehicles of change that we need to see to be able to invoke changes that we have to get involved. It's not about everybody being right, but it's about everybody coming together having a voice.
Yes, that is. Ooh, that's powerful. That's a really powerful statement of everyone coming together and how that just shifts and change and trajectory of the whole community by just two or three, as they say in the word of in prayer in the word of God. It says two or three come together. How impactful that is. So I think it's very important that we today call those loved ones and reach out in our communities here in Nashville. I love what you had shared earlier that you're going to do a task force. That sounds very needed in the urgency of where we are here in Nashville.
Yeah, it's very so. You know, task forces are developed a lot of times for emergency type situations, and of course, this is an emergency type situation. But building task force is, and the reason why I want to do it is we have to utilize those professionals and those people in the community who has what we need. It's some neighbors out there who has all the answers that, you know, there are neighbors who have the answers from your community that can help you. Business professionals, you'd be surprised if you just look out your front door and go and reach out to other people. You'd be surprised who's around you. You know, there's judges, lawyers, doctors, teachers, attorneys, you know, that live around us that we just don't tap into. Accountants, you know, that we all should tap into, you know, because those are our neighbors, you know, and trust me, a lot of us want to be left alone. I want to be left alone at sometimes too. And people will respect your privacy, you know, if that's what you need, you know, but don't be afraid if somebody just comes and knocks on the door and just say, hey, I just want to make sure you're here.
That's great. And one other thing that reminds me of that is when you're seeking something, it's right in your backyard, right? You know, we always looking
elsewhere.
It's always in front of us. It's so interesting that you brought that up. Like everything we need is within us, and everything we need is right next to us. I always say that because it's like when I'm looking for something, I'm like, where is it? Then God's like, it's been right there all the time. Like, or that person, like you said, may have the answer because so many people right next to you have the answer to your situation. I find that so many times in my life. I'm like, okay, God, you had the person right there all the time, and all I had to do was pay attention, be aware, and appreciate those that are near me and in my near circle. And yeah, so I think that's important.
There's this old saying that, you know, there was a flood and the lady was trapped on the roof of her home. Like, you probably heard that before, and I'm sure other people have. She was trapped on her roof. There was a flood. The water had come up to the roof of her home. She's up there on the top of the roof. And so she said, I'm praying for God to send me some help. I'm praying for God to send me some help. So a guy pulls up in a little rowboat. He comes up and said, hey, man, the water's rising. Would you like to rise? She said, no, I'm waiting on God. So man leaves. And another boat comes along, motorboat comes this time, you know, with an engine on. I said, ma'am, you want to, you know, catch a ride to safety, whatever? She said, no, I'm waiting on God. So then the helicopter comes by, you know, drops a little basket down to help her. And you know, ma'am, it's getting bad, you know, I need any help. She says, no, I'm waiting on God. You know, and so ultimately the woman dies sitting on her roof, you know, but waiting on God. But God had already sent her the help that she needed. But she wanted to be wrapped up in the way that she was thinking that God had to come. And God had sent her all the help that she needed to survive.
Oh, I love that story because I feel like I'd be that lady sometimes. Just transparent moment with the world right now. I've been her on the roof, like I'm waiting on God, and that's when I had the revelation. The guy was like, Robin, I sent you that person. I sent you that person. I don't know what you want me to do. And that's why I was like, oh my God, Lord, it was been right here in front of my face all this time.
Listen, don't be so independent to where it becomes your demise. You know, we live in a world where independence is good and everything to stand on your own. But guess what? Even the rich young ruler needed somebody to help him. And God had to help him. So don't be so independent to where you can't receive help. We say we want men to show chivalry. You gotta show, Jesus even laid his life down in order for God to help him. He had to lay his life down in order for others to be helped. You know, sometimes you allow somebody to help you could be the very blessing that their person needs in order to help other people. It could be the very thing to change their lives. You know, and I'm not saying be foolish about it, but I am saying that it's okay to be independent, but it's also okay to let people help you too.
I agree. I think that's very important.
It's okay to let people help you. We need other people to
So,
help us.
So tell our viewers one more time how they can get in contact with you, why they need to, get registered today.
Yeah, well, you can't register to vote.
Oh, it's
voter registration was over.
Oh, it's closed. Okay.
Oh
my God. I
see.
see.
After the election, then
Okay.
Of course you can. In order to vote, let me say this. Let me retract.
Okay.
You can still register to vote.
Okay.
However, but in order for you to vote in this election on Thursday, August 3rd, you would have had to submit your information by July 5th.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, we clear on that?
Yes, because I got that on next time. But I'm registered, guys. I'm registered. Okay.
So election day is August 3rd.
Okay.
The polls open at 7:30 a.m.
Okay.
and they'll be open till 7 p.m. So if you don't know where you vote, you can go to Nashville.gov and look up elections, and you type in your address, and they will tell you your voting precinct and where you should be voting and the location you should be voting in. It's very important. You want to make sure you go to the right spot because it could be frustrating. You know, you can go to one place that you think you should be voting, and they tell you to go somewhere else, and you're on your break from work or whatever like that. So take the time now. Go to Nashville.gov. Go to the elections tab, and once you go to that elections tab, look over, find my precinct, and type in your address, and it'll show you the precinct that you should be voting in.
It's Nashville. I'm gonna put it in the stream.
Nashville.gov.
Okay.
Yeah, Nashville.gov. You go there, type in your address because some of our voting precincts have changed because in the 2020 census, you know, some of the polling locations changed because and what affects the polling changes is the population. Okay. And so the city has to balance each area of the city out to make sure everybody has the same or close to the same amount of registered people to make sure everybody gets the same amount of attention. So your district, most districts usually have between 18 to 20,000 people within each district. So when you see those lines and stuff and how they're drawn out, it changes. So 2020, it changed. You know, when they did that census. That's why it's important to fill out the census, and it's not that they're trying to be in your business. They're just trying to make sure that you're getting the proper attention that you need as a resident, you know, and also as a voter. So you should vote. And but in doing so, it changes your precinct. You know, some people that was formerly in District 1 or District 2 or District 3 or what have you, have recently found out when they got their voter registration cards and they open it that their location has changed. Yeah.
That's really good news. Yeah. That's what I said today. I was so excited to have you because one thing you helped me do is get my information clear in my head because I really, as before hanging out with you, Tim, I really didn't make it that important to me, right? But
Mm-hmm.
now that I actually can see what's going on here in Nashville,
Mm-hmm.
it makes a difference because I'm like, oh, this is
Mm-hmm.
really what's happening to us,
Mm-hmm.
and we really have to step up. So I really appreciate you correcting me and getting me all informed because I need
I
this.
just want you to listen.
No, because I definitely am a resident in Nashville. I don't own a $3 million home, but I definitely would like to stay in Nashville.
Absolutely. I
And
just want you to be in right standing. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
and definitely want to be a part of the solution and helping and listening and how to help us keep our roots.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're
Mm-hmm.
here at the mighty 147 Roots of Nashville,
That's right.
the
That's right.
history,
Black radio.
the Black
Absolutely.
radio
Yeah.
station that
Yeah.
I'm very honored to be a part of. Definitely don't want to lose any of these gems
Yeah.
or any of these great people
Yeah.
who are in this community, and I'm definitely so honored to have
Yeah.
you.
So, hey, listen, that is what is at stake right now. Is holding on to the gems, holding on to what we as locals. Well, I know you're not a local, but we as locals, you're low. You've been here long enough.
he gonna accept me a little
We
bit.
as locals have to really take charge
Yes, you
in
do.
protecting and preserving what we have and what we've created, and what we've evolved into, our inheritance, our legacy. What is that going to look like for us? And so, in order to protect it, we have to get involved. Nobody's going to do it for us.
No, because I met another Nashvilleian that
Mm-hmm.
I work with her, and I said, "Are you going to get out and vote? And who you thinking about?" I was trying to see what her because I wanted to see how she was feeling, and she was like, "I don't think I want to do anything." And I think I didn't go into a big major debate with her, but what I find in life is we avoid things if we keep on just letting it be. And you
Mm-hmm.
just keep it just gets worse. I
Hey,
was thinking
listen.
about that this morning, like how sometimes we annoy. Is that the word I'm trying to say? Ignore. Ignore. That's what I'm trying to say. If you're ignoring a problem or you see it happening but you don't want to just get out there, it just makes it worse. And I was like,
Hey,
I really wish I could help her see the difference that she makes.
if your stop sign is leaning in your neighborhood, you should call and say something about it. One of the other things we kind of just been dealing with this one was the widening of Clarksville Highway. You would have thought you was riding on the back roads trying to just to get in the Kroger parking lot, or just to get to the library to vote, and things like that. And again, people will do whatever they want to do in your neighborhood if you don't step up and say something. They misread some plans and they got a telephone pole right in the middle of Clarksville Highway in terms of the widening. AT&T is, holding up the project because they're out of inventory. Is what they're telling us. But I mean, we're not privy to AT&T's inventory. But these are things that people come in with change and they affect us. Now we gotta live in our community with streets that are not finished because of their mistake. You know what I mean? But it takes for us to be actively involved to make those changes. If nobody places the phone call, if nobody, hey, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. And it's not about being aggressive and being antagonistic in that situation, but what it is saying, hey, I matter, we matter. This is important to us, and it affects your quality of life, and those things matter, noise and noise ordinance and those things like that, because those are in place because they help protect our quality of life. When it's bedtime, you don't want somebody building a house at midnight at bedtime. I'm supposed to be asleep. I got to be at work at 4 in the morning. I don't want to deal with that. So how do you protect it? We have to step up to the plate. We have to get involved. And you were saying something just a moment ago about talking with your neighbor, the Nashvilleian, about who they're going to vote for and stuff. And it's important. I'm glad you had that conversation with them, because what we need to understand is, as you go to the polls and vote, yes, people can be smart and people can be informed. When you vote for a person, you need to be looking at their character. You need to be looking at who they are and what they've been doing prior to the election, because what happens is they get to the election and that doesn't change the agenda. You could be popular and get elected. We just seen Donald Trump, you know, do something and he got elected and he got in there, you know, he did a whole lot of stuff. You know, he did some good things, but then he did a whole lot of stuff that did, you know, and it caused some issues because he had character flaws. He has character flaws. And those character flaws don't outweigh what you have the ability to do, because who you are as a character is what you're going to stand for.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and money and opportunity doesn't do anything but make you more of who you already are. So if you was already the devil and you get some money, you're going to be a wealthy devil. You're going to be, and you really going to inundate and do the things that you now can afford to do that at one point in time you could not afford to do. You know, so we have to be cognizant of that. So as we see these people that are running for office that are looking to seek out these positions and things, like, you really should check their character, check their history, because they'll get out in front of you and say anything. They'll tell you a lie and hope for you to believe it. But if you don't fact check it, you don't follow them up to see if they're telling the truth, then how can we know?
That's good.
You know, so that's another part of the whole process. I know it becomes, I don't want to care about that, I don't have to do that. But guess what? You're going to care when the house is going up across the street from you, and then you got to move out because you can't afford to pay the taxes. You'll be that motivated seller because you didn't care. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm back at the beginning. We don't want to be that motivated seller that these people are looking for to take advantage of. You know, and they're out here doing it. We get calls every single day. I get a call on my phone every single day from people calling, wanting to buy a property. Your name's listed on the property. How much you willing to sell? You're just tremendously inundated with these calls of people are trying to buy your property. And they're out of town numbers. You know, they're not locals. You don't have some numbers that are local and some are from out of state. You know, that continues to call you. Would you like to sell your home? Would you like to sell your home? Would you like to sell your? Do you have another property that you want to sell if you're not selling this? How many others you want to sell? You know, and it's constantly every single day, and they're gonna wear on you, and it's I would call it predatory buying. You know, we see predatory lenders, but these people are predatory buying. They're looking for the motivated seller who's falling on some type of hardship. Check on your family members, check on your friends, call them, reach out to them, say, hey, what's going on? You know, are you okay? You know, because one thing is, you don't want to see somebody lose their home because they couldn't pay an extra $100, $200, $300 in taxes. You know, let's see what we can do to help them. And then let's not wait until it's too late to get some help. Woman on the roof.
Yeah, that's true.
Man on the roof.
That is true. You know, wait until the last hour or last
moment. All of the help has passed us by. You saying, hey, I need help. You know, so that's not cool either. So we gotta do better.
We do when it comes to that waiting to the last minute stuff. Hey, beautiful listeners and followers, if you would like to ask, we have a few more minutes with the great 1st District Councilman Timothy Thompson. Yay! Woo, 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 woo. We would like for you to call in if you have a question for this amazing Nashvilleian gym here in the Nashville community.
Thank you.
You're welcome at 615-227-1470. We will love to engage with you with questions. If you'd like to leave a comment here on Facebook, Instagram, and all those other places, we will definitely get back with you, or we can have you, follow through with you with a call, check into you. But is there anything you want to ask Timothy today about his position? Call right in if you'd like to have a conversation with us. We would love to dialogue.
Yeah, I'd like to have a little dialogue. Call in 615-227-1470.
Yes, we have about 4 more minutes with the great councilman right here, 1st District, and we are super excited.
Yeah, the best option, Tim Thompson.
The best option, Tim Thompson. I gotta remember that. I love your little slogan. It's so good. I
told my grandson, and I say, tell people what's my name. He said, Tim Thompson, the best option.
The best option, Tim Thompson.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yesterday, it's kind of we were talking. Yesterday, I had an awesome opportunity to go to Jolton. We had a forum last week, and one of the constituents invited me up to come and view his farm and things like that. And it was a good experience. I took my grandson with me, and we took pictures and things like that. And he got to see like the cornfields, and he got to go into the garden. And he was able to pick some vegetables, like banana peppers, and
cool.
some of the what do you call it, the cherry tomatoes, and some of the red tomatoes, and different things. And there were some other vegetables he had in there that were available too. But it was really good, because you never know what that experience like for him may have done to shape and change his life, to see and experience what farm life is like.
That was
He
awesome.
put his cowboy boots on and his jeans, and he was really excited about the cowboy boots.
I bet he was. I bet he looked at adorable in those, and then seeing his papa or granddaddy. Which one you go by?
Granddaddy.
Granddaddy.
Yeah,
So, I love it. Granddaddy is what I call my grandfathers. So I know he enjoyed hanging out with you.
Yeah. Then afterwards, we were able to go and get some food, get something to eat. That's all he wanted to do. You got to tap it on the glass. Granddad, I'm hungry.
He's like, we've been doing business now, trying to feed the stomach. I've seen the food where it grows, and let's get some in my belly.
But there's some richness all around us that we have. There's a lot of value that we had. And to bring it up, just a side note, he was Mr. Barnes is his name, Jim Barnes. He runs a farm there. He does corn and soybeans and things like that. And he has some small garden, but like him and many others in the Nashville community, is fighting to preserve their gems that he has. As he gets older, he'll make sure that his legacy that he's leaving behind is properly cared for. And he and his wife done his large farm, a lot of property, and there's a lot of people in the inner city same way. It doesn't matter how much property you have, just hold on to it and create your legacy and check on your people, because they just might need your help. And the biggest thing for him was he just cared to somebody. It made him feel good that somebody cared to just come and spend some time with him, just ride, and him to be able to show off what God has done for him. And there are other people that are here in the city that may not have 100+ acres. They may just have a small little quaint home that they just want to share and tell you, let you know how good God's been to them. And it doesn't cost you anything to knock on the door and say, hey, I'm just here to say hello.
Oh, yes. I love it.
Let you know you matter.
Yes, that's so important. I think we really need to do more of that in the time that we're living in.
Absolutely.
We really got to let's do it, people. Let's do that.
So on Thursday, August 3rd, vote. If you can vote for Tim Thompson, the best option, I prefer you do. But if you can't vote for me, vote for somebody.
All right. Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
And I, say vote for Tim Thompson.
Yes. Best option.
The best option. District 1. Well, Timothy, we always love you here at the RG Talk, here at the mighty WVOL. And we can't say but thank you so much for taking time out and sharing with us what's important here in the community on this day, this moment, what action we have to take, and you open book, sharing your life with us, letting us know who you are and what's important to you here in this community. It means a lot to me, Timothy. It means everything to have you here with me today, because I feel like you have helped me also realize how important it is to fight for those things that's important for our community. Even as I am a second generation of Nashville, but I appreciate being here with you, and so thank you so much, and our listeners, we appreciate you.
Thank you, Fab. It's always a pleasure. And guess what? The election's on Thursday, and that's fine. But I plan to be back after.
Please come back. Yeah, I was gonna. That was the next, inviting you back right after election. Tell everyone how to follow you again, and we're gonna wrap it up, beautiful people.
Oh, absolutely. So you can email me or text me or call me. My phone number is 615-593-4372. Excuse me. And my my Instagram address, is TP Barber and Events. And you can look me up on Facebook, Timothy Thompson on Facebook. And then you can also email me through my campaign vote. Tim Thompson for District 1 at gmail.com.
All right, beautiful people, we're at the end of this amazing hour. We love you guys. And remember to vote, vote, vote.
Vote, vote, vote.
On August the 3rd. Thank you, beautiful people. Till next week. Have an amazing Tuesday, beautiful people. Yay. Love you guys.
That was amazing.
Thank you, Timothy. It was
Thanks
awesome.
for tuning in.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Really appreciate
people.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you for all your
Vote,
support.
vote, vote. We appreciate you. Vote.
Vote, vote. If you can, vote Tim
Share
Thompson.
and like.
If you can't, vote.
Man.
Vote. Vote. Let your voice be heard.